Beautiful people, welcome to episode 92 in this format here of the Ignite Your Purpose vlog, blog, podcast. So wherever format you're listening to, we have been working hard to get it onto that format, John and I, which has been a beautiful thing. And in relationship to that, John and I today are going to be talking about what, Mr. Johnny?
Patience, or our lack of patience, or our awareness of patience.
And
how did that come up? Patient.
How did that come up for you today, John? Just because we've been just like I said, we've been trying to put this on all the audio files, all the this, all the that. So tell them where we're going here.
It's kind of holding our own feet to the fire because we sprout all of this learnings and knowledge from our own pasts and from thousands of years of Chinese, Zen Buddhist traditions. And I woke up this morning and we've got a freaking 100 shows, kind of almost ready, but not quite ready to start streaming up to YouTube. And I just want to start. Right, I've got the first 20 done. I just want to start getting them delivered, and then maybe that'll create some traction and some connection across to. If you want to see our live show today, come over to YouTube. And I found myself being kind of really not really uptight, but a little bit.
Nancy.
I'm up here and up here, kind of really short of the headspace of the mindfulness to kind of think about it. And I did think about it, and I took some deep breaths, and I got down into the belly breathing, which shuts off the fight and flight responses. And it's okay to be excited about a project, and it's okay to want to get things done. And if you decide to do that, then that's brilliant. But know why you choose to move forward now rather than waiting until whichever project has got all the pins lined up. That's kind of what came up for me. I found myself being really uptight and impatient, and I thought through the process. And we may still decide to drop a couple of shows to see what happens, have a little experiment. And we might not, because we haven't spoken about that yet, but that's what's coming up in my life.
Yeah,
we just don't talk it. We kind of do it as well.
We're human, John. I mean, in this, like I said, unless you are a monk, up in the mountain cave and somebody brings you a piece of rice every 3 days, we have to deal with the reality that's at hand. We are in the matrix. We are on the plantation. We are part of this. You and I have to pay bills. We have to work. So we live in this matrix. So we have to hold our feet to the fire. And what I said rhetorically to John was, and he just mentioned as well, but we're so early in our endeavors.
Let's put where we are into perspective.
The
yes. Helicopter view. Let's look down on where we are.
Totally. And that does not mean, though, and this is where all these things that we always talk about come into, John. So if you and I thought, shit, we only have a week left. You see what I'm saying? So that's where we want to work harder. For example, Brian from London Rio, I noticed he's starting to he's going to begin to do a live format, right? Like he's going to take questions from his community on Facebook and YouTube. Something John and I have now been doing for 2 full months, maybe 3 months. So we could almost say we're ahead of the game there, or on par with the game, right, John? It's just we didn't start in 2011 like Brian did, right? Like we have to put that perspective in where we have 6 months. Somebody's also put in 10 years or 8 years, right? Like, so John and I are of the mentality, we want to work harder to get there quicker. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If we want to hustle, that's fine. But to know where our impatience comes from, right, is a huge thing. And is it also a blessing and a curse? Can you use that impatience as a positive, John? Could you?
Yeah, it lets us know that we are still driven about let's just say this project, the Ignite Your Purpose podcast. I think it expresses the reality that it is still in our gut, and it is driving us, and it gives us purpose each day to get up, think about our lives, think about what context from our lives we can bring into a conversation, we have a chat online. I think we both get great value from it, and so there are many positives we can bring
Right.
from.
Of course, and it's us bringing being of service and all that. And yeah, I want to work harder. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's in I know it's in your DNA. I know it's in my DNA. So
Oh,
impatience, yes. And I said this too. Like, we're working on a new logo for us, right? That takes time. And John and I are very perfectionist oriented, but we're going to be like, you know what? This is 96% perfect. Friggin' put it out. Instead of pausing, okay, now it's, it needs another 2 weeks. What do you think, John?
Yeah, if Jobs had waited for the iPhone to be perfect, we still would not have it. Get whatever it is you want to deliver, get it most of the way there. It's pretty good. It's not perfect, and let people decide, and then you will find your way through the path and veer left and veer right as things come up. There's a phrase. It's one of my favorite army phrases from back in the day, and it says, no plan survives first contact with the enemy. We can make the most incredible plan, and this is our 5-year mission. And after 3 years, we'll have done this and done that. But on day one, if fricking somebody turns right instead of turning left, then you've got to start again. And your end goal is still the same, but you just take a different path to get there. So
truth, very true, very true. And part of our plan for John and I also relied on getting this logo done to release everything on our audio format, right? So, that impatience right there where we're kind of waiting on, somebody else to release, right? It builds anticipation, so it's...
Yeah, but it is, and we may want this guy to do his job, but he's got life as well. He's got other clients, and so it's got to wait. It's got to wait for the right time.
It's a teeter-tottery game, man, and we have to... you have to live in the yin and the yang, and it's a balance, right? So we're working on it every day as well, John.
Okay. I think that's about as much as we need to share today.
It's a beautiful thing.
Thanks very much for all of those who are listening, for those who are watching, for those guys like my good friend JJ, who writing in, commenting in, asking us questions in relation to himself, but also out to his wider community as well. He's trying to gather information so he can be best serving them. But thank you all from me. Goodbye, and we'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, guys. We know you could be anywhere in the world, and you're rocking with us, and we damn well appreciate it. See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.